dog then. Okay. The next part of the topic is neutering. Now this is quite a major and a large part of the topic. I appreciate that these slides have bitches and dogs on there, but they are across the board for dogs and cats. Spaying bitches at 6 months, why do we do so? We do so because of pyometra, which is an infection of the womb. We do so because of mammary cancers. Both of these conditions are very, very prevalent. In this practice, when I bought this practice in 1981, I was doing a pyometra operation about once or twice a week in the first 2 years. And this is because the number of bitches that had been spayed was very small. Now, 30 years later, the number of bitches that have been spayed is very high, and so we see 1 or 2 of these pyometra operations a year. And most of these are not our clients before they come to us. So promoting this means that we end up seeing very little of that disease. The other 2 reasons are management of seasons and temperaments. Management of seasons to prevent unwanted litters. Now this is why we see very, very few unspayed cats, because they are very prolific. They are seasonally estrous, so basically they will breed through a season between March and September. Through the winter time, you see very few kittens around in the winter time because they tend to go out of season at that point, and for 6 months they won't come into season. That doesn't mean to say they don't, you can't rely on it entirely, but it tends to be a summertime only. Once they start coming into season, they will carry on coming into season or stay in season until they're mated. And then once they've had a litter of kittens, they will come back into season again 4 weeks later. So they are very prolific breeders, and they can have the next litter of kittens before they have lost the first litter of kittens. So management of seasons is almost automatic in cats because of prolificacy. In bitches, because they come into season twice a year, people can cope with the seasons, and so therefore they sometimes do try to manage them. But if you look at the disease entity, that really is very important. We don't see pyometras in cats because they tend to get spayed. That is a picture of a uterus in a bitch, and that is my hand, so you can see how big the uterus is. The size the uterus should be is the size of one of my fingers. So that is a massive, massive pyometra. And you can get them not that size in bitches, in cats, but you can get them just as serious as that. Males, why do we castrate males? Not quite for the same reasons. There are diseases there, but the main reason for castrating male dogs is aggression. Aggression will come into play in the first 6 to 12 months. In tomcats, they start to develop their tomcat tendencies between 6 and 12 months. You will see that they will start to territorize. They will develop territory marking. Cats spray, and the cat's pee is very, very strong smelling, and so you tend to castrate a cat because the house will stink of tomcat if you don't. Territory marking is for both cats and dogs. Dogs go around peeing all over the place. You will see dogs walking into the surgery and they're cocking the legs all over the place, where they might not do it at home. Now, if they've been castrated, these dogs tend not to do that. You can tell the difference in a tomcat that has been castrated late because they develop a very thick scruff, and it's almost very difficult to grab a cat by the scruff of the neck when it's been allowed to go past 12 to 18 months. And this is a defense mechanism, the fact that the skin becomes very, very thick and hard at the back of the neck. In diseases, prostatic hyperplasia, prostatic cancer, testicular cancer, and in dogs, anal adenoma and furunculosis. I have seen a couple of cats with furunculosis, not very common at all, and again, this is probably because most of them are castrated. In the uncastrated animal, I'm sure we'll see more of it. But it will gain weight is the reason why people say we don't want to neuter. No, they do not gain weight because they've been neutered. They gain weight because they've been fed. Now, once they've been spayed and castrated, if you continue with the diet at the same rate, the conversion ratio improves, and so therefore the same amount of food can make the animal convert food to body tissue much more readily. And then once they start to gain some weight, they become more sluggish, so they have less exercise. So the increase in weight and the reduction in exercise, the increase in food and the reduction in exercise size will tend to create increase in weight. Managing the weight, managing the food intake immediately after neutering is essential. So really it's not a matter of waiting until we see the animal for its booster 9 months later. It's a matter of we encourage people to weigh their pets monthly for the first 4 to 6 months after being neutered, and then hopefully we will manage any weight gain, and we will catch the weight gain before it becomes serious, and then the food can be managed. Now this comes back to the cost of the food as well to some extent, because if you have a food that is more expensive than a brand that you buy in the supermarket, and you have neutered the animal, then you'll be encouraged to feed less. And if it's more expensive food, that will encourage less feeding as well. My bitch, when she was spayed, was 28 kilos, and the day she died, she was 28 kilos, and she had been neutered. And so basically, with good management and good care, you can keep the animal's weight at the right weight throughout